We all love a good sci-fi story, right? But have you ever wondered how they're actually built? Well, today we're going to crack open the blueprint and look at the engineering behind the story, using Andy Weir's masterpiece, Project Hail Mary, as our guide. So really, what would you do? This isn't just some hypothetical question. It's the absolutely terrifying hook that kicks off the whole book. You wake up, you're totally alone, you've got two dead crewmates, and you have no idea what your mission even is. It's one of the best story openers I've ever read.
So who's our hero? A guy named Ryland Grace, who used to be a science teacher. And the problem? Oh, it's a big one. There's this microbe, called astrophage, and it is literally eating our sun. And just when you think things can't get any crazier, he meets an alien engineer, who he calls Rocky, whose star is in the exact same boat.
Right, and that's the real magic here, isn't it? How does an author like Andy Weir take a premise that's so out there and make it feel so, well, real, so grounded in science that you start to think, hey, maybe this could actually happen? That's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
All right, so what's the secret sauce to the Weir method? You'd think you'd start with some epic plot outline, right? Nope. It all begins with just one scientific idea. And then he just keeps asking, okay, what happens next?
This is so cool. The story basically writes itself. It's just a chain of logic, a domino effect. Weir starts with one what if, a microbe that can eat energy. Okay, so where would it live? On a star. How would it spread? Spores. Uh-oh, what if it got to our sun? Well, we'd have to go to its home planet to fix it. And that perfectly sets the stage for one of the greatest moments in sci-fi, first contact.
And you heard it from the man himself. The story wasn't meticulously planned. It was discovered. It's this organic chain reaction where the science dictates what happens next. You know, it's less like he's an author and more like he's a scientist just following the evidence. And the book is his final report. Okay, so you might be thinking, how does this not just spiral into crazy, made-up sci-fi nonsense? Well, that's where this next part comes in. The one big lie rule. It's a classic for a reason. The rule is simple. You get to break one law of physics. Just one. But after that, you have to follow all the real rules, no matter where they take you. And for Project Hail Mary, this is it. This is the one big lie. Don't let the name scare you. Super cross-sectionality is just the piece of magic science that makes the whole story's engine run. So what the heck is it, really? Okay, so you gotta understand neutrinos first. Think of them like cosmic ghosts. Right now, literally trillions of them are flying through you, through the entire planet without hitting a single thing. They're basically untouchable. But not for astrophage. With astrophage, that rule gets thrown out the window. It's a perfect neutrino trap. They don't just pass through, they always hit, 100% of the time. And here's where it gets really clever. What does this one big lie actually do for the story? Well, if you can block something as tiny and slippery as a neutrino, you can pretty much block everything. We're talking deadly radiation, gamma rays, the whole shebang. And just like that, Weir's single invention also solves one of the biggest headaches of deep space travel. It's elegant, and it's a direct result of his one broken rule. So this problem-solving mindset, it goes way beyond just the plot. Weir actually uses it to fix some of those classic sci-fi tropes. You know, the ones that sometimes make you roll your eyes and go, oh, come on. I mean, think about it, right? The Milky Way is ridiculously huge. So what are the odds that two other intelligent species would just happen to evolve right in our cosmic backyard? It's a bit of a stretch, and Weir knew that having Earth, Rocky's planet, and the astrophage homeworld all clustered together kind of strains belief. So how does he solve it? With this really cool concept called panspermia. The idea is that life didn't evolve 3 separate times, completely independently. No way. It evolved once, billions of years ago, on the astrophage homeworld. Then, it hitched a ride on asteroids and seeded the whole neighborhood. So humans, Rocky's species, even the astrophage, we're all like distant cousins. It's not 3 wild coincidences, it's one single origin story. Brilliant. So, how do you make an alien that's truly alien? And not just, a human with a lumpy forehead. Weir's trick is to imagine a totally different path for their technological evolution. And this chart lays it out perfectly. We think of technology as one straight line, but it's not. We invented computers because, well, we're not great at super complex math in our heads. Rocky's species, the Eridians, they're living calculators. They never needed computers, so they never invented them. Instead, they got amazing at materials science. So it's not about who's more advanced. Their tech just evolved to solve different problems. Okay, and that different tech path leads to this wild number. 2 million kilograms. That's how much extra fuel Rocky's ship has when he shows up. Why on earth would he have so much extra?
It's because they don't know about relativity. I mean, it makes sense. Their planet has a thick atmosphere, so they never had a reason to discover it. So they did all their math for this insane interstellar trip using basically old-school high school physics, and it led to a massive miscalculation. But check this out. This isn't just a fun fact. That mistake, that extra fuel, becomes the critical plot point. It's the only ticket home for our hero, and it creates this huge moral choice for him.
All right, our last section. This obsession with making things feel real and grounded, it's so core to the story that it didn't just stay on the page. When it was time to make the movie, that same philosophy came right along with it.
You'd expect a movie like this to be all CGI, right? Well, no. They went old school. The alien, Rocky, he was this incredibly complex puppet that took 6 people just to operate. And the ship, the Hail Mary, they didn't just build it in a computer. They built massive physical sets that filled 4 whole sound stages. They wanted it to feel real, which is exactly what Weir does with his writing. And of course, Weir was right in the middle of it all. This was different from The Martian, where he was more hands-off. For this one, he was a producer, he was the main science guy on set, making sure all the scientific integrity that makes the book so great actually made it onto the big screen.
And that really brings us back to the heart of it all, doesn't it? The Weir method. It just goes to show you that some of the most incredible stories don't start with some grand epic plan. They start small, with just one problem. And the magic is in following that problem logically and relentlessly wherever it leads. So maybe the next time you run into a challenge, don't just ask how to solve it. Ask, what story does it want to tell?